Okay, good evening. It's 5:30. We're going to go ahead and call the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting Thursday, August 29th, 2024. Okay. Would y'all please stand for the invocation led by Commissioner Deborah Kelly.
Dear Heavenly Gracious Father, we come before you with our heads bowed and our hearts humble, giving you all the praise and all the glory. We just thank you for this opportunity. Lord, we just ask that you guide our hearts and our minds to serve the people, which makes this city the beautiful city that it is. Help us do what's right and pleasing in your Son. In Jesus' holy and precious name we pray. Amen.
Please remain standing. We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance and then the text of flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one, and indivisible. Okay, please be seated. Okay, before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and just make note that we have, as I read your name, I just say present. I'm going to read a roll. Commissioner Susan Barcelo? Present. Okay. Gabriel Cabrera, Vice Chairman?
Present.
Vice Commissioner Chairman. Kimberly Cheney, did I receive anything from her that she was going to be missing today? I do not see her present. Jen, did you receive anything from her in regards to her being absent today?
I did not receive any response to her attendance tonight from Commissioner Cheney.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Commissioner Deborah Kelly? Present. Commissioner Matthew Malone? Present. Commissioner Randy Voigt? Present. And Commissioner Lori Lindsay?
Present.
Okay. Oh, we also have Commissioner Zan Spencer McNutt? Present. Okay. I'd also like to note that, I guess on the agenda here, we have a little error. We still have Garrett, Commissioner Carlisle, that was no longer with us or no longer on the board. And then we are missing Zan Spencer McNutt off the, make note of that. Okay. All right, as we get started, we're going to hear remarks from visitors. Is there anyone in the audience that wants to come up and speak to us or address this board in regards to anything not on the agenda tonight? I believe I have two gentlemen that are here. Paul Herman. You going to state your address, sir, to the board, please?
Okay. My name is Paul Herman. I live at 119 Stonebriar Way in Terrell, and I'm a member of the Terrell Ministerial Alliance, and also I'm the chairman of the Spirituality and Values Committee for Kiwanis of Terrell. And what I'm here to talk to you about is I propose that we set aside 90 feet to 120-foot piece of land, that's a quarter of an acre, and zone it for the homeless. Then I propose the future development of a tiny home village to be built there to provide a secure transitional housing until the homeless can get a job and support themselves. I understand that the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that the cities can remove the homeless, and that the amendments to ordinance number 3047 and ordinance 3048 have been passed by the Terrell City Council. However, these ordinances only provide a revolving door through our city jail, and the homeless will be back out on the street. So, and the very next day, they will not solve the problem of homelessness in the city of Terrell. Providing a safe environment for the homeless to get the resources they need to help them get back on their feet will lift some of them on their feet and help them become contributing members of our community. The city of Terrell has a population of 22,000 and a homeless population of 55 at last count. That's 0.25% of our population. Our businesses and churches have been providing them food, showers, and laundry through their outreaches. I am planning on 25 tiny homes, a restroom, showers unit, laundry unit, and a meeting room on that quarter acre. Our businesses and our churches will continue to provide food and the spiritual help that they need. So please help me by giving me some contacts in the Planning and Zoning Commission that can help me to develop this plan. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time. All right, next we have Johnny, is it Bean, sir?
Johnny Bean.
Bean, okay. Johnny Bean.
My name is Johnny Bean. This is my wife Brenda. We live on adjoining property to, I guess it'd be to the north,
I'm sorry, sir. Forget, what's your address, sir?
16551 North State Highway 34.
Thank you, sir.
It's all right. We've got about 5,000 feet along this development on our property line, so we're going to be affected by it. I realize that we're going to have growth in this town, and I'm not against growth. It's just part of development as far as population as it increases. I do have 2 or 3 issues. One is a lot of drainage. We've got 3 different drainage areas that feed from our property onto this proposed development, and I'm concerned about the water issues there. Another is the drawing I've seen shows a future road cutting across my property. I don't know that I want a road across my property. I don't know what authority they have for proposing a future road. It will affect my property, the value of my property, and so this isn't just affecting them, it's affecting me. There's also the traffic issues, which I know you are aware of. That's a lot of traffic to go in and out. Best my math says probably 5,000 cars. That's a lot of traffic for one way in and one way out. It's definitely going to affect me getting in and out of my property. That's pretty much what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time, sir. Okay, if anybody else is here, we're going to continue on. Item 5, adoption of the minutes of last month's meeting. Has all commissioners had a chance to review last month's meeting?
Excuse me, Chairman, would you please announce that Commissioner Cheney is here?
That's right, I forgot. Commissioner Cheney has showed up. We'll go ahead and, Commissioner Kimberly Cheney has arrived. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us tonight. Okay. And adoption of the minutes. Has all commissioners had a chance to review June 27th, 2024 minutes? If they have, can I have a motion on the floor, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I have a motion to approve the minutes from June 27th, 2024. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, motion carries. Okay, we're going to open the public hearing. On item 6.1 is conduct a public hearing to receive comments regarding a plan development, single-family 6.0 PDSF, that's 6.1 for all non-executive estates lots and for executive estates lots being 0.50 acres and greater lots. The base zoning standard shall be executive suites 32.0 PDEE-320. Property being 499.13 acres of approximately 999 single-family residents, 790 multi-family residents, and 1,940 square feet of neighborhood services within 29.7 acres of commercial retail use, 11.3 acres community center with amenities, and 15.1 regional park, a 16.0 Zero Future School area, and other various amenities on the west side of State Highway 34 in the Kings Creek headwaters, partially in the city of Terrell, EJT, and partially in the current Terrell city limits of Kaufman County, Texas, PD 24-05. I believe Jan's gonna come up and explain this to us. I believe we're gonna postpone this till next meeting.
Yes, sir. Chairman and Commissioners, good evening. I bring to you tonight a new development. This is something we've discussed in executive session, and so it should not be a complete surprise to most of you. I think pretty much everyone was there that night. I'm going to go ahead and read again the location and what's proposed. This property is currently zoned agriculture and is located on the west side of State Highway 34 in the Kings Creek headwaters, partially in the city of Terrell's city limits and the city of Terrell's ETJ. The City Council approved Resolution 2167 on August the 6th, which gives the city manager authority to negotiate the development agreement and the mayor to sign the agreement on behalf of the city of Terrell. The property owners, Fred Darce Estate, Sarah Miracle and Jenny Carn, and CM Realty. The developer is CM Realty, LLC. The developer, along with the property owners, are proposing a planned development with a base zoning of single-family 6.0 for all non-executive estates, and for executive estates, a half acre or greater, with a base zoning of EE 32.0. The entire property development being 499 acres of approximately 999 single-family residents, 790 multifamilies with 194,000 square feet of neighborhood services, 29.7 acres commercial retail uses, 11.3 acre community center with amenities, a 15.1 acre regional park, and a 16 acre future school. The property owners and developers have requested to voluntarily annex into the city of Terrell. So once we have an executed development agreement, their first step will be to submit that application for that annexation, where the whole 499 acres that will then be in the Terrell city limits. The proposed zoning would comply with all of the planned use of the property, as well as the city of Terrell's comprehensive plan, zoning ordinance, and all other codes, studies, and plans as applicable. 21 letters were sent out to adjacent property owners within the 200 buffer zone, and we received, your book says, or online it says 5 responses. I got one in this afternoon, Katie brought to me, and so that makes 6. So when I'll explain to you why we're requesting a continuation to our September 11th special P&Z meeting, but that'll make a total of 6. So that will be in the public hearing for record when I complete my presentation to you in a few weeks. If you will turn to the next few pages, and let me just kind of acquaint you to where this is located. Our zoning map, our location map is on page, what page is that? 23. So if you look at the red box outlined in blue, you see the State Highway 34. If you'll look down a little bit to the south, you'll see where Francis veers into the State Highway 34. Going north, this is the land that abuts the Porter Farm. Is everyone familiar where that is? The Porter Farm, you can see to the south where their Porter Lake is. It's been on the maps for all my life, that development. Our hillside development that we all know about is to the south of it. What we're wanting to present to you tonight, I would just want to go ahead and familiarize you with the project. We're going to need additional time with this developer. There are some things that we have not had time to work out, iron out some of the details about the concept plan. So I don't have a complete ordinance to present to you tonight, but I do want to share with you what they're proposing. And then when we come back on the September 11th, I'll tell you about the lot sizes, what they're predicting, about the phasing that they're wanting to do, the locations, what have you. So if you'll turn back before the resolution is the preliminary site plan. Right now, we're looking at 4 phases. I'm anticipating maybe some of the phases may be being changed, so what we bring back to you in a couple of weeks could look a little different in this. But phase 1 is the lots, and we're proposing about 250 lots in phase 1. And that's that light blue looking greenish area. The front area is proposed to be commercial retail development. When you see going down the main lane in dark and blue, on section 1, 2, and 3, that's the multifamilies. There's going to be some water aesthetics in the detention pond area. And then the concept plan is as you go further into the development, the lot sizes increase. There will be executive estates in the rear of the development, yes. There's infrastructure. We've already got our plans to provide water and sewer to this development. Now, the easement that's coming off that looks blotched to the south coming off of phase 1, that alignment is incorrect. Right now, it is hooking into Porter Farms. It needs to be turned and directed down to the south and then going west where it abuts into our hillside development. So I'll have a better map for you there. But we've got, that's a floodplain area, easement area, and we're going to work with the developers, not only Hillside and Evening Star, to incorporate that into a nature's trail. So if you're in Hillside and you're riding your bikes, you'll be able to ride your bikes across through that easement area over into the Evening Star development. Ride around, enjoy their trails, and then come back and continue on. Some of the things that I do also want to share with you is, if we'll go through the pages here on page 27, are the 200-foot abutting owners that were mailed notices. The next page, I'm sorry, on page, it's on this side, page 28, 27 of 58, and it's down on the left side, turned sideways. Okay, going through the next page is the public hearing notice that was mailed out. And then we have 5 of the responses back from individuals in favor. I will say some of the ones that are here tonight are in the favor that you're reading are the property owners that are selling the property. CM Realty has, for an agreement with the property owners, has already purchased and acquired 37 acres in their name. Once the development agreement is executed and they've applied for the voluntary annexation, that sale where CM Realty will own 100% of the property. And that's a normal practice that developers do with property owners. So at this time, I'm welcome to answer any of your questions, but I would request, Chairman, that we table this public hearing until September the 11th to give us time to work out the details with the developer, and then we'll bring it back to you, start over, and have better, definite details to share for you to make a recommendation to City Council.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, Commissioners, it was brought to table this to next. I know some commissioners may have some questions that may be answered once the other presentation is. So do I have anything on the agenda tonight to
Actually, I would like to ask a couple questions, if that's okay, before we have the next meeting, while it's still in progress.
Go ahead, what's your question?
Question one, there was a sixth letter. Was it in favor?
Yes, in favor.
And question two, why a PD? Why not just straight zoning? Because inevitably PDs allow you to build more density. And I guess my question is, what's the purpose behind that?
Because it's a mixed use and it's in phases, we're doing it this way. This has been our routine that we did on Hillside, Arboretum, Northside.
And then other question, the adjacent neighbors, how do they feel about it? And is there any landscape and/or visual buffer? Because I can appreciate if I'm a large landowner sitting next to this piece of property, I don't know that I want to see wood picket fences and rooftop houses. So what are we doing to kind of control that?
Well, once we complete our negotiations with the developer and confirm those building details, I'll be able to present that on September the 11th.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to usually go out and drive and see where this is. Actually, I'm kind of a little confused. It's off of 34, like going toward Greenville? Yes.
Yes, on the left side.
Right, and it's, so it's out further past Town North and all that, it's further.
Yes, yes. You know, it's after Francis dead ends to the new State Highway 34, you go, yes. Absolutely.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. All right, do I have a motion on to postpone this to September 11th, 2024?
Yes, I make a motion to postpone, to table this until September 11th.
Okay, I have a motion to postpone to September 11th, 2024. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Okay, we'll table this. In regards to this, now we're going to go ahead and close the public hearing. Six point two is also in the, item 6.2 is an ordinance for the City Council of the City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, providing for the creation of a planned development mixed-use residential under the provision of 31A Appendix 2 zoning ordinance of the City of Terrell on certain real property consisting of the 499.138 acres of land out of the BB and CRR County CO Survey Abstract Number 67, Kaufman County, Texas, and more particularly described by meets and bounds in the three general warranty deeds attached hereto as Exhibit A, B, and C, and conceptual site plan attached hereto in Exhibit D, and under the terms and conditions specified in Resolution 2167 attached hereto as Exhibit E, all of which being made part here for all purpose providing for the repeal of conflicting ordinance, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. PD 24-05. Are we postponing this too, ma'am?
This is the same one. This is our public hearing from this development.
All right. And so this, item 6.2, I guess, is postponed till September 11th, 2024. We go ahead and move on to, and go ahead and close up.
What happens if we choose not to postpone it?
I don't have a complete ordinance to present to you, so
We
it's,
could make an exact vote on everything, ma'am, tonight. 'Cause everything isn't presented as is tonight. We don't have enough information to
Well,
make a
but
decision.
We could vote on something, though.
No, ma'am, not tonight. And we've already.
It's incomplete,
We've already
so-
voted to postpone it to September 11th. Thank you. Okay? Go ahead and close the public hearing on 6.2. We move on to action item 7. There's no action items today. We're going to have the discussion items. 8.1, we're going to discuss and execute ordinance 3040 approved by the City Council on August 6, 2024. It's an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, amending Chapter 2 Administration, Section 10 Planning and Zoning Commission, Terrell, and the Terrell City Code revised, providing the repeal of conflicting ordinance, providing a severability clause, and providing an effective date. Ma'am, will you go ahead and explain to us this ordinance, please?
yes, Chairman, Commissioners. When we all knew this was coming, it was approved by council on August the 6th. I just wanted to stand before you and present it, provide you with a copy, and let you know which items change, which items affect us. I will say that every board that is governed in this city has been at, the same two components has been added to their ordinances. Paddock, parks, airport, library, everyone's complying with the same rules. So, section 1B is the appointment and terms of members. It's changed now from 2 to 3 years. Everyone here tonight is still held to the 2-year term. An example, Commissioner Kelly, Chairman Vargas, you were reappointed on the 1st. Had you been reappointed on the 7th, your term would have been from 2 to 3 years. So you missed it by 5-6 days. So, yes, I know. So just know that for your reappointment, that you will, if you choose to, and you let City Councilwoman Mayrani know that you do want to, continue on, your new term will be 3 years, okay? All right, then next, on the next page, item F is the absences. And this is a little different from what we've had in the past. The excused absence must be noted by the chair. So tonight, we followed through. It became effective tonight. And thank you all for everyone being here. This was great. So no one had to find out the hard way. But everyone will be announced, and then the chairman will recognize on the ones that are not here if they have an excused or a non-excused absence. And it tells us here what constitutes an excused absence. Members with 2 unexcused absences or 3 total absences for any reason per rolling 12-month period from regular or posted meetings shall automatically be forfeited. You can also provide information if you have any kind of travel with your work that's requiring you to miss, or a family member that's ill, that's preventing you from being here, a child, a parent, a spouse. So what the rules are, you're to email or call your chairman, and when you email, please also CC Katie and myself. So then if Commissioner Vargas happens to be unavailable to answer, if he's traveling, then we can pick up the phone, call and let him know. But we have that excuse of why you are or you haven't responded, okay? The City Council wanted this additional statement put in. Members with extenuating circumstances may request City Council Act to suspend their service for a designated period of time with a temporary replacement. So then you would get with Chairman Vargas and City Councilwoman Mayrani Velazquez and work that issue out. Then they would get with our office, with staff, and then we would work then to find your temporary replacement. Okay? And Chairman, I believe that's all. It's pretty self-forward.
And your package, if you see, she has provided contact information. If you didn't get one, please let us know.
It's in the inside
The
sleeve.
inside of your folder, all information is in there.
Now, if we get too crazy, council can still vote us off anytime, right?
That's the plan.
Yeah, like we serve at their will, and if we just resign at any time too. We're not gonna do that.
Thank you. That's a good
Just
answer.
making sure they're like getting me locked in. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't wanna be a prisoner here.
You're good. You're good.
Deal.
I also ask, like, is there ever gonna, so when I think about things like potentially traveling for work, there may be, are we ever gonna potentially have an opportunity where we might be able to remote in or Teams in and be present via technology? Because like there may be some instances, although it hasn't happened, so that's good, but there may be some instances, for example, where we might be out of town, but available within the window of time that is planning and zoning.
That would be your question to the chairman, and then he would work those issues out with our office.
Okay, great.
That's something I could look at, and I'll get with Katie to see. I know they had some issues in the past, but maybe if they've worked them through, well, that's something I can work with her on that, okay?
In the event it came up, you
No
know.
problem, ma'am.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on to action item 8.2. Discuss and propose zoning ordinance revisions for fiscal year 2025. And we have staff coming up. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Chairman and Commissioners. I am Braylon. I know quite a few of you. We gave a brief presentation to City Council on Tuesday and wanted to come back and do the same presentation for you to let you know that you will be the one that we are actually laying the zoning ordinance down for. Staff has been working the last few months trying to update the zoning ordinance, which is quite an undertaking. The way that we have handled that in the past is there is a hard copy of the ordinance, and as we need to make changes, everyone goes in with a red pen, so we're taking all the red pen notes and trying to apply those to a new zoning ordinance. So just as a reminder, we can go on to the next page. When we're looking at the zoning ordinance, and y'all know this, I just went back over it with City Council. As we're making recommendations for the zoning ordinance, we're constantly checking, you know, does this still align with our future land use plan, thoroughfare plan? And so just to kind of go in and reiterate all of those guiding documents. Those are the plan pieces, and then the actual ordinance is where we put the action steps in there. Next slide is just a few examples of some of the things that you will see whenever we bring this ordinance to you. Just like the ordinance that Jana just went over, we're talking about board terms, permit expirations, little things like commercial permits will now expire 12 months instead of 18 months. So what you may see is just some little bitty red lines. Some things don't take a lot of thought or, you know, moving forward. Some of them are going to be more detailed whenever we look at different uses. One thing that I found whenever I was looking at the use chart is we have several items, which to me, which is a very simple mind, actually all mean the same thing. And so we're trying to like group those like definitions together, group those like uses together. We're really trying to go at it, especially with having new staff on board. Putting some fresh eyes on the ordinance to make sure that it is very user-friendly, especially as we have new developers and new property owners and community members coming forward. So there's a lot of administrative clerical work that we're trying to do to comprise that. If you'll go ahead to the next one, this will be an example of what you'll see. One of the things that we run into, and you see this a lot whenever you see your SUP applications and also your zoning board or your zoning applications, people get to write out what they want the use of their building to be. And so what we need is to make sure that we're checking all the boxes. So we're going to go ahead and do a complete alpha listing of all of those uses and assign numbers to those so that when they tell us this is exactly the definition, exactly the use that I'm looking for, that way there's no gray area, because a lot of people kind of figure out, if I don't tell you everything, then, you know, I can get away with this. So, again, just trying to simplify it for the user and also our administrative staff. Another example, commercial event centers, like I think every time someone came and asked for an event, we created a new use or a new definition. I think there's like 5 different ways that you can word event center. So we'll be combining those together. Same thing, looking at the example, you see consignment shop resale, thrift store, used merchandise store, really trying to get that together. So when you look at the use chart, what we'll do is we'll have highlighted any of those recommended changes. We'll have some explanation from staff as to why that is our recommendation. Whenever I brought this forward to city council, staff assured the council, and I'm sure that Jana does this, and hopefully y'all reach out to staff at the city. If there are questions or there are things that you have seen that you believe need to be addressed or something that needs to be looked at, we would appreciate that input. Don't be surprised if the city council, if a council member reaches out to you, they've expressed, one of the items that they wanted us to look at was, in fact, thrift stores. They also wanted us to look at the masonry requirements, the exterior masonry. And so, we've got several notes from probably P&Z commissioners and city council members, plus developers and everyone else. And so we're trying to combine all of those notes to give you an updated zoning ordinance. So the schedule looks like this. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Staff will complete the draft revisions during the month of September. So that means during the month of October, it will go for legal and legislative review to make sure that we don't do anything wrong. In November, what we're proposing to do is actually probably sit down and do a workshop with you. That way you don't have anything else to really think about, and we can go in line by line and really explain to you what those changes are. And then you would make your recommendation in November, and we would do the same thing with council in December, so that we'll have a new zoning ordinance starting in January. So if you have any questions or things that just a burning desire for staff to look at and change, if you could get that information to Jana, that would be great. But we'll get this rolled out to y'all. We'll get it out to you as soon as it's available in paper form, just so you can start reviewing it. As if you have nothing better to do, but it makes for great reading when you can't sleep. But we'll get those out to you so that you have time to review it before the workshop also. Yes, ma'am.
Just a quick comment from an observation I heard, and I'll speak with Jan or someone about it later. Not really but just this is what I'd like to say is, and I'm not to say that you all don't do this and you haven't done this, but I think it would be real good if you just had like a bullet point page that for all developers or even builders or whoever, to say you got to do blank, 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 and then you can refer them to see more further details, but just something so they have like a checklist to say this is, and I'm bringing that from a conversation I actually observed a builder at the window talking with one of our guys there, and he was saying, and I heard he was saying, well, you told me I had to do this, and this. I did that. And then after that was done, now you're telling me I have to come back and I got to do this, that, and this. And every time I do something, now there's a new fee, and I have to come back and do this. And I was listening, and the person admitted that he was correct. You're right, sir. But then now you have to do, he said, well, why you didn't tell me all this in the beginning, so I could have been prepared for this, because now I got to wait and back up and come back out of pocket with some more money, and now I got to do this and do that. And, and I was thinking to myself, that's probably pretty frustrating, and it's not pocket change. I mean, at least it wouldn't be for me,
Well,
and so, and
et
yes.
cetera, right.
And so just with that thought in mind, and I'm not saying that he hadn't been, some of it he may have not known or he may have known, whatever, but if we have something very clear, concise, you got to do step A, you got to do step B, you got to do step T, and this is going to cost or whatever. And then it may not have all the details on the bullet point, but it refers you to where to go to see what you need to know, what the cost may be and what you're going to have to do step next. So that when someone's considering building a home, like for me, for instance, I can look at all of that and say, okay, this is all what I have to do and this is what I'm going to have. So when I start step A, I already know what step Z is and I'm prepared,
So what I will say is we are definitely updating all of our applications, and we're working on flow charts. So a good note may be that when we bring the zoning ordinance back, that we let them look at all the new applications, because it would be great to get some outsiders' eyes, because a lot of times, and I mean, this happens where you work too, we know what we're doing, so sometimes we forget that we have to explain what we're doing, and so they have been updating as things come up. I think they're Word documents now, like we don't even take them to PDF so that we can go ahead and add them. But we're working on trying to get that concise flow chart done. So we'll be sure and bring that to you also. I think that'd be some good information for you.
Yeah, because I think you guys already have a pretty good checklist, but don't you have to download it with the application, maybe? Yeah, I think that it exists. So questions, if we had questions or comments that we were interested in potentially running up the flagpole in terms of when do you guys need any notes, thoughts?
Yeah, if you have questions or recommendations, or if you've heard something, if you just want to send an email to Jana, we can definitely let you know if that's something that's on the books or it will be addressed, et cetera. We'll be glad to answer those.
Okay, good.
I said, once they provide it to us, it's gonna be a certain time that we're gonna sit down, and that's all we're gonna be discussing. We'll know exactly what we're doing and what we're voting on.
We'll try to make it as easy as possible.
We try to, it never is, but we'll try.
Thank you.
All right, if we have any other questions, I want to thank all commissioners out for coming out tonight, and thank you for your time. We do appreciate it. If there's any other questions, meeting's adjourned.